Hey there, this is Clint with Cazoomi. So I wanted to go over today what we're looking at doing this year, which is in the following week. We've been looking at what's called a Nonprofit Accelerator. So you might have heard about it. We're going to take a look at that today and how that sits on top of Salesforce and then connect it to Mailchimp or Constant Contact or others, and then bring back the marketing into Salesforce for the Nonprofit Accelerator. So this is from, you might have heard of it here, Idlewild. So they're a Salesforce consultancy out there, been around about as long as we have, 15 plus years, I imagine. And they have a really cool, I'll show you that in a second, a really cool thing that sits on top of Salesforce called the Nonprofit Accelerator. So this demo, I'll link it down below, but what attracted me to it is we deal with a lot of nonprofits at Cazoomi, and a lot of those nonprofits are using NPSP, which is deprecated now as of December, or they're going to have to now move to MPC, right, which is Agentforce Nonprofit. But now they have another option, which is they can use Salesforce and then use this on top of it as a layer. And so what I'll show you is how to bring back the marketing metrics or get information from Salesforce into Mailchimp. So I'll link this demo down below. I highly recommend watching it. It's fantastic by their founder up here. So let's take a look real quick. So I'm going to connect Salesforce and Mailchimp, right? So I've already have a free trial. So if you go to Cazoomi.com, you can get started with this, and then I will set something up. So I've already set this up just for demo purposes. So I'll go through how it's set up, right, and what you can do with SyncApps between the Nonprofit Accelerator by Idlewild, which sits on top of Salesforce, and then also how that connects to Mailchimp. So in SyncApps, it's pretty simple. We started 15 plus years ago at the enterprise level, and then basically over time made it easier and easier for small business, nonprofits, large and small, to use the product platform to connect Salesforce to Mailchimp and others. So in this one, I just spun up a dev account here and connected Salesforce. So as long as you're logged into the account, it'll connect there. And then what do I want to sync from Salesforce? So in this case, I'm doing contacts from Salesforce, which are my donors, right, in this case. And then I'm just going to sync all records. You have lots of different options here. So if you want to sync from Salesforce and give all the donors that match specific criteria, you can certainly do that with these options, or in filtering segmentation, super simple. But for this purpose, I'm just going to do, I think we have 2 or 3 in there. And then next, we'll bring back the metrics from Mailchimp into Salesforce, right? So that the Nonprofit Accelerator can look at some of those metrics and maybe incorporate those into the dashboard reports, right, that you were seeing here on the Accelerator UI. So in this case, we'll just create a campaign. So as long as you put all the fields that we create onto the layout and then field level permissions, we have guides for each and every one of those. You can just pop this open and go through it. That's super simple as well. And then you can even do record types. What I'm going to do is just limit to open and click. Maybe we have a 50% open rate and 5% click rate, something like that. And then bring back the URLs clicked. And that's it on the Salesforce side. On the Mailchimp side, I've put in my API key here, and then I've just connected our account, and I'm using a test audience here. And then I'll bring back the campaigns. And recently, we combined every plan we've ever come out with in SyncApps over the last 15 plus years into one plan, one pricing, unlimited everything. And that's really good. A lot of our nonprofits have been wanting that for years. Enterprise features on smaller plans. So we created one plan that has everything. Both enterprises, big nonprofits, foundations like the Ford or USA Basketball, or down to smaller nonprofits like Garrison East and others, are able to utilize this plan to get any type of integration feature. And so underneath that is more options. So on the more options are things that you might consider in your integration. So in this case, we're using groups. So Salesforce will move things to groups. So here is a group category in Mailchimp that I'm going to put these under. Full sync, we're not doing that because we're not segmenting, but basically it'll be removing records that no longer meet criteria if I choose to do that. But the most important thing that we've seen over the years is how do we get data back from Mailchimp into Salesforce, right? So to use things in the Nonprofit Accelerator, like last gift amount, any actions that they're taking on the donor side, if they update data from, let's say, a title, so they change the title, they were a manager of a nonprofit, now they're a director, so they may be able to give more donations in the future. So you want to note that and automatically bring that back from Mailchimp, the title that they update, and have that update in Salesforce, and we'll show that. So this is the feature. It's again Cazoomi, right? We created this platform called SyncApps, and really instead of configure things, it's just a choice. So it's a checkbox. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, or that, and that's all you do. On the field mapping, so let's see what fields we mapped here. So these are pretty straightforward. I'm bringing the last gift amount, SMS number. That's a recent addition for Mailchimp, which is pretty cool. You can do some SMS marketing. And what I just talked about was the job title. So like, they move up, you want to send them an automated email like congratulations on, becoming director or manager. And then this information will sync back. So you control the direction here on the fields. This is a bi-directional platform. So really anything that you can imagine you can do in the API or want to do, we are able to do it for you. So let's take a look at the Salesforce side. So this is the Salesforce. This is my record that I created. You can see there's a title here of donor manager, right? So any of this information is coming over to Mailchimp, and this is the one that was created. So they're subscribed. Let's go down here. So donor manager. So let's say they went from donor manager and they sent them an email and they updated their title to owner director, right? Something like that. And this is using technology that Mailchimp has called webhooks. And all you do is check the box in SyncApps and it does it automatically. So that could go for their phone number, their name, anything that you can edit on the contact record here will go back automatically without, by the way, the integration running, right? Because you check that box in step 2. So let's go over here and take a look at this title and just refresh. And what do we have? Oh, there you go. So donor director, right? So that's the bi-directional nature of it. So field mapping coming from Salesforce, coming back from Mailchimp. And then what we want to take a look at next is the campaigns, right? So this way, if you're working inside of Salesforce using the Nonprofit Accelerator, you can see how marketing is doing on the campaign level, right? So here are all the campaigns we sent, right? So you can see what's happening on the Mailchimp side. And then that's coming automatically here into Salesforce because you chose that feature in step 2, right? So in step 2, you chose the feature to bring back the campaigns, all campaigns. So what that means is any campaign you sent will come back in Salesforce, create that automatically, and then all the campaign members around. So that's kind of it today. We're going to be going over problems mostly this year in YouTube, or things that consultants, marketing people, and also some salespeople find difficult in integration, and going over those use cases inside of SyncApps so that you can figure out exactly how it works, any problems that you may have, and how real data integration works between Mailchimp, Constant Contact, Salesforce, NetSuite, and some others. So anyway, that is all for today. I will probably come back and do another demo on the Nonprofit Accelerator when I get more data here. So on my Salesforce, you can see that I need to get a little more data, do some more funding because it's the beginning of the year, right? So I can get these numbers raised, right? So total raise is in progress toward my goal. So I'll come back and do another demo as we go through the year, and then do some other use cases. But if you have any use cases, just post them down below that you want me to cover, and we're going to go through those, each and every one of them this year, as we dive into how to do integration and how consultants, real life consultants out there do it. All right, thank you, and talk to you all soon.